Oh, what is good, YouTube? Griffin checking back in with another video. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. And if you haven't done so already, guys, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the first update of the day, you guys are looking at Hassan Mustafa at 5 weeks out of the Orlando Pro. What we are looking at right now is a more conditioned version of Hassan than we have seen on any bodybuilding stage, I'm pretty sure. Now, as I was saying prior, I believe a lot of guys that have bigger quads, I believe if they downsize a little bit, they have a lot more detail, which is what you see here. We see a very detailed Hassan Mustafa. Now, for Hassan being a guy that carries so much mass, actually has a pretty small waist. The only thing I can say about Hassan in this update, he will need more mass around the hamstring area. Looks like his upper body is starting to overpower his lower body from behind. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent physique update from Akim Williams. Now, this is at 11 weeks out of the Tampa Pro. Akim is being coached by Justin Miller, who is the former coach of George Peterson. May he rest in peace. And as you guys know, George was a guy to consistently come in condition. Now, honestly, I believe Akim does come in condition. I believe he just has some issue where his back doesn't get dry. I've also seen this with Brandon Curry and a little bit with Blessing Awodabo. It just seems like these guys can be conditioned everywhere, but their back just doesn't seem to have the same level of hardness as a guy like an Iain Vaiyer, or Nick Walker. And these guys arguably have better backs, but they just don't seem to get as dry. But I'm excited to see Akim hop on the stage. I still believe he's a top Olympian. And in the next update of the day, we have recent updates from Charles Griffin. Now, as you guys know, Charles Griffin decided to sit out the week of New York. Honestly, Charles Griffin could have possibly came in and won that show, May actually have to do a comparison of him to Blessing, because as you guys know, Blessing wasn't as good as he was in Indy. But anyway, Charles Griffin will be competing at the Cali Pro this weekend. We also have guys like Andrea Andrea Mucci, Theo Labrada, as well as Mohammed Shaban will also be in the Cali Pro. I think it's going to be a great battle between Shaban and Charles. I feel like they have similar physiques. Very muscular, very hard and grinding. Both of these guys have very incredible quads. Look at the thickness that Charles has in the back, man. At the prejudging for the Indy Pro, a lot of you guys in the comment section were either comparing his back to Dorian Yates or Ronnie Coleman. But that's what you guys were saying. Those weren't my words. But excited to see Charles this weekend. And next, this is actually Andrea Mucci. As I mentioned, he will be also competing at the Cali Pro. Now, I used to get Mucci and Presti mixed up a lot because both of their names are Andrea, and they were both competing in some of the same competitions last year. Mucci competed in 3 pro shows last year. He wasn't really able to get into the top 5 except for in one of them. But as you guys just seen, Theo Labrada and Andrea Presti came over here to the U.S. and they're killing it. So pretty sure Andrea Mucci is probably going to be one of these top guys at the Cali Pro. Now, in the next update of the day, these are updates from a recent guest posing of Hunter Labrada. And Hunter looks incredible here, man. I'm not sure if he was off the gas, maybe off the super supplements and not pushing food as much after the Mr. Olympia. But the prior 2 guest posings I seen Hunter Labrada at, he did not look this good. Now, Hunter is actually looking like a top 4 Olympian here, guys. The flow, I really like this guy's physique. Incredible arms, incredible quads. The main thing that Hunter needs to bring up, of course, is more density in the back and having those higher lats. Really would like to see a little bit more detail in the mid or lower back. But as you guys know, our current reigning Mr. Olympia champion, Big Ramy, also has very highly inserted lats. In the next update of the day, this is a recent update from Iain Vaiyer, who is 8 weeks out of the Vancouver Pro at 279 pounds. And Iain actually said he is going to win Vancouver. It's not an option. It's just whether a matter of if he decides to do more shows. So Iain is very confident going into this show. And I'm excited to see the improvements that he has made. The only real knock I can say about Iain is he has to bring that chest up. The delts and the arms are constantly growing, but it's just overshadowing the chest. And Iain has placed 7th at back-to-back Mr. Olympias. I know that he really wants to improve on that placing. In the next update of the day, this is a recent physique update from Horse MD at 5 weeks out of the Expo Pro Super Show, where he will be competing in the classic physique division. Now, this side chest is a great shot for him, and I definitely see why a lot of people would compare this to Chris Bumstead, because this actually would stack up pretty well. But as I've told you guys numerous times, I think it's going to be hard for Marcello to stay in this division. And I've also seen him on stretching tables trying to gain another inch just so he can have more weight in the classic physique division. And he hasn't even done his first show yet in classic, so it's going to be hard for him to stay in the division. But I also want to share this photo with you guys. This is from 5 weeks out. What are you guys' honest opinion on this physique? Is this a physique that will be competitive at the classic physique Mr. Olympia? Do you guys think Horse MD should go over to open? And as I've told you guys numerous times, I think he'll be better suited as an open class competitor. He doesn't have the smallest waist. And classic physique isn't about a weight cap, guys, or it's about a look. You have to have a certain look to be classic. You know, wide shoulders, very small waist, and they like the flaring quads. But interested to see you guys' thoughts on that. In the next update of the day, these are recent updates from Fabien Meyer at 6 weeks out of the Emperor Pro. And look at him standing next to his girlfriend, man. This guy is huge. As I mentioned every single time, Fabien and Ramon have to get a rematch. They're both tied 1-1. Even though I think Ramon would get the best of him. But I try to keep a lot of information on all of the classic physique athletes because we seem to just focus on the top 5, not really mentioning Fabien Meyer. You know, Mike Summerfield. We have some really good guys coming up right behind them who could potentially overtake Urs or Ramon. And in the next update of the day, this is a recent update from Keone Pearson at 205 pounds. Now, if Keone weighing 205 and being 11 to 12 weeks out, a lot of people are wondering, is he going to compete in the classic physique division? I honestly doubt it, guys. I think Keone is just not really paying attention to the scale. Keone doesn't have to be 211 pounds, 212 pounds to win a 212 division, guys. I mean, Sean Clarita winning at 172 pounds, 174 pounds. Sean Clarita's winning open shows at 170 pounds. But I think Keone will be competing in 212, and as far as I know, he's doing the Texas Pro. So very excited to see Keone hop on the stage, and I think he's in the best place I've ever seen him mentally. Now, in the next update of the day, this is a recent update from Heidi Chupin. And we have to talk about these guys because it's just been going around so much. Everyone is talking about the shoulders with Heidi, talking about how they're getting worse. And as you guys know over here on the channel, I don't accuse any athlete of using anything. If I see something like this, I would just assume it's scar tissue. But I can tell you that the shoulders are getting worse, guys. And I don't think the judges are going to award Heidi the Mr. Olympia title with these shoulders. Heidi has everything capable of winning the title, but these shoulders are definitely very distracting from his amazing physique. Heidi is one of the best in the world, but need to get those shoulders fixed, Heidi. And in the next update of the day, this is Jang Sung Yop. He placed second at the 2022 New York Pro behind Noah Ladame. And if you guys seen my prejudging video, I actually had him winning the show. But taking a second look, Noah was just more complete. I think this guy just impressed me so much because he pretty much came out of nowhere. And this video isn't as good as the live stream. Honestly, he looked a lot more conditioned on the live stream. But what a lot of people were saying is he doesn't have the best back. And when you're missing such a huge body part like a back or you're missing legs, it's going to be very hard to give you the nod over a guy that has the full package. So you guys will see here, he has sort of highly inserted lats, but he's pretty conditioned everywhere else. And kind of what I was saying about Hassan Mustafa, I think this guy's conditioned, but he may have a little bit too much mass in the quads. If he was able to downsize the quads a little bit, he may have a lot more separation. And the thing about the 212 division is so competitive that just having striated glutes isn't enough. Derek Oslin had striated glutes in 4th, and he was considered off. You have to be peeled to the bone in 212. In the next update of the day, I really saved the New York Pro updates for the end of the video because we've been talking about New York for like the past 10 or 12 videos. But Justin Rodriguez did leave his coach AJ Sims, and he is now working with George Farah. I'm not really sure if that was a good idea, as I heard AJ advised Justin not to compete in New York. But Justin being a New York native, I know that he really wanted to do this show. But even Justin realized that after doing the show, you know, he was just pushing his body too far. But AJ Sims and Justin have been nailing it like nonstop. Justin was on at Boston. He was on at the Arnold Classic at prejudging. So Justin not working with his coach, I don't really think it was the best idea, but AJ Sims did say that he's no longer working with professional IFBB bodybuilders. So I'm not sure if he was already doing that before Justin or with Justin prepping himself for the New York Pro, they kind of go ahead and pushed AJ to get away from the professional athletes. But either way, very excited for Justin Rodriguez to be working with George Farah. With Blessing being his coach, I've learned a lot about George Farah, and he's definitely a very smart guy. And to me, probably one of the best coaches in the game. You know, he's very technical, a lot like a Chris Aceto. But I'm confident that we will see a very good version of Justin Rodriguez at this year's Mr. Olympia. I'm pretty sure some people are probably going to try to write Justin off now. You know, he did just place low in a competition. He honestly had no business not even winning. I mean, arguably he could have placed second, but Justin should not have been any lower than second in his lineup, taking nothing away from these guys. Justin is a two-time top 10 Olympian. He placed 8th last year behind Iain Vaiyer, a very good bodybuilder. But As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. If you haven't done so already, like the video and sub to the channel. Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, there's a thanks button down by the share button somewhere. Help me get to being a full-time YouTuber a little bit faster, guys, so I can focus on content full-time.